Guys ready?
Call meeting to order. Shelley, can you do a roll call, please?
District 1, Councilman Rios.
Present.
District 2, Councilman Pastor.
Present.
District 3, Councilman Latham. District 4, Vice Mayor Stapleton.
Yes.
District 5, Councilman Gonzalez.
Here.
District 6, Councilman Shipley.
Here.
Mayor Canaro.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Shelley. I want to invite Bill Byrne with the VFW Post 1704 for the invocation.
Thank you. Would you all please join me in prayer, please? Our Heavenly Father, Lord, first of all, we just want to thank you for the freedoms that you have bestowed upon this great country, one of which is the right to assemble, as we're doing here tonight. Lord, I ask for your favor over our elected officials and all those in positions of authority here. Lord, just give them your wisdom, your knowledge, your discernment regarding the decisions that they have to make. That, Lord, they will make decisions that will be beneficial to all concerned. And Lord, we just ask a special blessing on all the veterans tonight and their families. Lord, help us to never forget the sacrifices that our military made and all those that are serving this great country in other positions. And these things we ask humbly in thy name. Amen.
Amen. Mike, you heard from the pledge, please. Thank you. We'll start with summary of current events. Mariano, we'll start with you down there.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had the privilege during this cycle to host the Finance Department presentation for the Citizens Academy, as well as the Veshpa Gala presentation. And I need to give recognition to our city staff who were called upon to present in the two that I attended. Two things, knowledge of their job, of their department, and the pride that they bring to that job. And it showed as they made their presentations. We are very lucky to have that kind of level of attitude and pride throughout all of our departments. And as they imparted the knowledge, our Citizens Academy was extremely interested. I noted that, and I was glad for that. I really think this is a good program for both sides of the equation, and I really want to thank all who attended the Academy courses for doing that, but especially to our employees who really shine, are really proud. They're really proud to talk about what they do. So their attitude, it's impressive. So that's all I wanted to say, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mariano. Fernando?
I just have a couple things. I also got to host one of the Citizens Academies, and the first time I got to host the police department, so I did a great job. And Chief Walters he managed to keep the floor, so I didn't have to talk a lot. So it was great. We had great food, and we got to do the shooting simulator, which was really eye-opening to see what they have to deal with and how quickly they might have to make a life or death decision. So it gives you an appreciation of what they have to go through. So thank you. It was a great presentation. And just thank you to everybody that helped with the Halloween. That is such a big event to have that many people in our downtown, and people come from all over to be here. So obviously, because we don't have 5,000 children that live in the community. So thank you to everybody that made that happen. And that's it, man.
Thank you, Fernando. Freddie?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I'd also like to extend my congratulations to all those that attended the Citizens Academy. I hope that you found it informational and they're able to understand what the city departments have to go through on a day-to-day basis, provide service for our citizens. So congratulations for taking in that plunge. I know it's, what, 7 weeks of, but I hopefully it's 7 weeks is well spent. The other thing, I attended a Zoom type meeting with some of our city staff, Linda Arnedo and her team with the Economic Development Group. It was Royal Manufacturing Housing Roundtable. There are quite a few cities in this Zoom. It's hosted by the League of Cities in conjunction with Arizona Department of Rural Housing. And I think if you get a chance to look into that, dive into it, there's really really what it boiled down to was the little houses, mini houses, and sometimes not so many houses, but manufacturing homes. And they're not like what you're used to seeing in the past. Technology and specifications have changed so much that, you know, this could be the wave of the future of affordable housing, what we might call affordable housing. Probably, I wouldn't say it's half the cost of a stick house, but it's very close. And the one thing that I found very interesting is that in today's stats, about 55% of people buying homes today are people that are 45 years and younger. And so that's truly a demographic that we all need to understand and be able to provide. So if you get a chance, I know City Hall, and if I can offer you as a point of contact to share that information, there's slides, PowerPoint slides that you can look at. Really some beautiful homes and some really nice engineered type of homes where one of them, the bed literally rolled down from the ceiling. And then when you're done bedding down and you're done, you put that right back up and it becomes part of your ceiling. Really, really neat stuff. And it's very clean, very modern. You get a chance to look at it. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Freddie. Mike?
Mr. Mayor, I really don't have anything to share. I want to thank Mariano for filling in for me with the academy. I was a little ill and couldn't get out, so but I congratulate them on finishing their course. It's a long 7 weeks when you really think about it, but I'm sure you've learned a lot, and I think that's good for not only you but the council to have you as our ambassadors out there with the public. So, even congratulations.
Thank you, Mike. Jesse?
Yeah.
Huh.
I want to thank. I wish them a happy Veterans Day. I want to also thank everybody that had come and contributed to the Citizens Academy, taking time out of your schedule to learn about the community that you live in. I think that's amazing. You all should be commended for that. And I also want to welcome all of our new employees that are going to be presented tonight. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a few things. I too want to congratulate all of your graduates from the Citizens Academy. I hosted the fire department with Chief Robinson, and I actually learned a lot. So I want to thank Globe Fire and all of you students for attending that. And like everybody said, it's a long 6-7 weeks of dedication, so thank you. And then the next thing I have is, again, First Friday, another huge turnout.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody that was involved. I'd be here all night thanking them if I did one by one, but I just want to thank everybody that was involved in that. And if you haven't attended that, check it out. It's a lot of fun, even in the cold. It was cold that night. So, and then another thing, finally, this is more personal for me. Hosting Thanksgiving again this year at the restaurant. So if anybody knows anybody that wants Thanksgiving dinner, no charge. It's all on us. And the last time, I think it was 2 years ago that I did it, I served 280 people. So at first it was only like 30 or 40, but now that's where we're up to. So I want to break 300 this year easily. Last time I took, I think 15 turkeys, 200 pounds of potatoes, and 300 pounds of stuffing. It's a blast though. So if you know anybody, come on over. And I'll throw you in the kitchen maybe. And then lastly, Globe. They took the kettle back. I mean, they'll be happy about that.
Yeah. AJ would too.
Yeah, exactly. So congratulations to Globe football. That was awesome. I went to the game and what a game. That's all I can say. It's fantastic. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mike. First, I want to say, remember Veterans Day coming up. Remember all our veterans that served our country and gave us our freedom. Also, Election Day. Hopefully, everybody went out and voted and used your privilege of voting in our country. On the 10th of this month, they're going to have a mixer at the White Porch with the Chamber of Commerce. That's the one Molly Cornwell has. It's the in Lower Miami, I think it is. Yeah, Lower Miami. So they're going to have a White Porch, a mixer at the White Porch there. On the 8th is the grand opening of the Mojave Cannabis Club, and that's at the Copper Country, Clover Valley Shopping Center. That'll be opening, and I think it's at 12 o'clock. It's a grand opening there. On the 19th is the annual Festival of Trees at the Center of the Arts, and that's at 1 o'clock. And then they're doing a Friendsgiving, I think something similar to what you're doing, Mike, at the Wagon Vineyard, and that'll be at 2 o'clock, and they'll be serving Thanksgiving dinner also for the public. And again, congratulations to our Citizens Academy. We'll be presenting you with certificates a little later. Glad you guys attended, and but we'll talk a little more about that. That's all I have, Mike.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, yes, today is voting day for the general election, 2022. Polls close at 7, so if you want to get out there and vote and haven't done it yet, get out of here and go vote. You got about 45 minutes left. And just for explanation, we only had one contested council race. By law, if the council races are decided by more than 50%, if one person gets 50% or more, they don't carry through to the general election, and so that race has been decided in the primary. And so congratulations to all 4 council members who were reelected. And the last thing I wanted to say was we are doing something that we haven't done before. We are having a citywide staff and council and contributors photo shoot tomorrow on the steps of the old courthouse. We are closing down City Hall, so those City Hall employees can get there. We're closing down the library. It's going to be between 2:30 and 3:30. So if you go into the library between 2:30 and 3:30, they're going to be closed temporarily. And Besh will be closed, and all city operations are being funneled over to everybody to make sure we have everything covered, and then leave their station and take an hour. We're going to meet at 2:30, and at 3 o'clock, rain or shine, we're going to take that picture. We'll have that picture for now. It's kind of a tipping point right now. We're through the pandemic. We got we'll look like good skies in the foreground that we're sailing forward to. A lot of change happening, and I think it's a good time to capture the group that got us to this point right now. And so very exciting time, and 100 years from now, other visitors to Globe will be up there, looking at that picture on the wall in the city, the new city council chambers, whenever those are built, and going, wow, look at that staff, and why are they dressed like that? So Mr. Mayor, members of council, and I've let all staff know, all supervisors, get everybody to the courthouse steps at 3 o'clock. So right on the dot, we can take that picture, and that includes council. You're all invited. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. That's all I got.
Thank you, Paul. I do have one more thing. I had the privilege 2 days ago to be interviewed by the Washington Post, and they were in Arizona interviewing minority leaders in Arizona, so they're going throughout different places. And what they're doing is they're gonna create a book or write a book, which will come out in about the middle of 2023. So it'll be neat to see. They were really amazed. And what I shared with them, all the things that are going on with Globe, all the new businesses, all the housing, everything that's happening. And they were really impressed because there's a lot of rural communities that they're looking at that are going in the opposite direction because of COVID and other things. But the things that are happening here, they're really impressed with it. So that'll be coming out, and hopefully we can get some copies and see what it comes out to be. Thank you. So we go to our first community call to the public. I do have one card here. I have Phil Stewart. You come up here. And if anybody else would like to speak at community call.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens. Just wanted to take a few minutes and thank you for the opportunity of the Citizens Academy. For a citizen's point of view, especially somebody who's new to Globe, it was very enlightening, eye-opening, and a couple takeaways that I got is that we are very fortunate to be served by highly motivated, skilled, educated, and dedicated people that will help take care of us, especially in times of need. And that goes anywhere from public works, fire, police. Besh Begawa was incredible. The library was amazing. So there's just lots here beneath the surface that a lot of people can take for granted. And it's programs like this, the outreach from the city, that will help break down any barriers and allow people to go, wow, these are people like me. And if I have a problem, I can pick up the phone, or I can go in there and they'll at least listen to what I have to say. It kind of breaks the wall down between them and us and creates we. So again, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And secondly, I wanted to take an opportunity to return something to the city that was lost to time until very recently. There's a family that used to live here by the name of Tetreault. I'm friends with one of the brothers, and he found, I'm sure this might be special to you, Mr. Mayor, since you were fire chief, but this is an engineer's dress blue hat for the city of Globe. And Dennis said, wow, my goodness, I know Phil would take care of this. And I told Dennis, I said, you know what? I know exactly what to do with this. Let's bring it home. So tonight, I'd like to bring this home, get it to the right people so it can be appreciated and enjoyed. So if I may.
Does it fit me? We do have Chief Robinson in the building, and we'll get it. If the station, I know we have a lot of old paraphernalia there, or the historic preservation, or our historic museum would be a great place for it. And that is neat. Thank you, Phil.
It is. Thank you.
We'll go to special presentation and ceremonial matters. The first one is the Veterans Day, November 11, 2022 proclamation. I'll read that proclamation. And we do have from VFW Post 1704 that will receive the proclamation is Anthony Hernandez and Mr. Bill Byrne. Proclamation, Veterans Day. Whereas the willingness of America's veterans to serve our country has earned them our lasting gratitude. And whereas Veterans Day continues to be celebrated and commemorated with solemn observance in honor of all Americans who have served their country in times of war and conflict. And whereas Veterans Day has become a significant part of our American heritage as we recognize the millions of our citizens whose military services has had a profound effect on history. And whereas throughout the generations, their sacrifices have preserved our unique form of government dedicated to human rights and respect for the individual. And whereas in honor of these dedicated men and women, we pledge continued defense of our nation so that their sacrifice will stand before the entire world as a tribute to the spirit and determination of people dedicated to the principles of freedom and democracy. And whereas the courage, honor, sacrifice, and dedication which veterans of the United States Armed Forces have displayed in the cause of justice, freedom, and democracy are most worthy of recognition. So therefore, Globe City Council do hereby recognize November 11, 2022 as Veterans Day in the city of Globe, and urge all citizens to recognize the valor and sacrifice of our veterans and to remember that freedom is not free, and these are the men and women who paid for the freedom all of us to enjoy today. So we can have you come up and we'll give you.
One more of my collection.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you very much. So now, on behalf of council, Mayor Gomeros will present the 2022 Fall Session Citizens Academy participants with graduation certificates. So I will go to the podium and then we'll call you up, and Lisa will be handing out your certificates. Oh. So as I call your name, go ahead and come forward. And this is our third Citizens Academy that's taken place, and we've had some amazing participants. And we've also benefited because a lot of them have become part of our subcommittees of our council and stuff. So it's great, and like Phil said, it's good education. It tears down the barriers where people feel comfortable coming to our city and being more customer-friendly service to all of them. There's one big question, though, before we get started. Did you guys vote on who had the best meal? I know everybody tries to outdo each other, so you guys benefit from it, though.
Mr. Mayor, the Active Adult Committee gives a scoop spaghetti, and I think that I always hear as a favorite, so.
No. I don't know, the other departments might argue with you. So I'll call your names. Mickey Nye. And if you can just stand up front, we'll get a full picture once we're done. Frank Baroldi. Crystal Corral. Phil Stewart. Danielle Madden. Grace Whalen. Anthony Martinez. Janelle Rhodes. James Owens. Travis Edwards. Sarah Alexander. And Brenda Bling. And if we could squeeze in here a little bit, we're gonna get our council behind you so we can get a picture of them standing all behind you.
So I think we might do 2 roles.
Might have to come on this side.
Short people in the front, tall people in the back.
You get it?
And I need to stand up. Congratulations.
Thank you all very much. So next, we're going to have a presentation by Gorman and Company, LLC. They will provide council with a special project update for the Hill Street School development. We have Dan Block, the project manager.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Great to see you again. Great to be back here again. Dan Clockey with Gorman and Company. We were asked to come and give you an update on what's been happening since the last time we were here, and you all so graciously agreed to change the zoning on the site so that we could get the project going. So I just wanted to touch base on a couple things and let you know where we are in the process. The great news is we're exactly where we said we were going to be. And so this is moving along nicely. And we're getting more and more excited. It's really fun to come here, I'll be honest. It's a place where people really want to help you out and they want to get things done. So we were invited to speak at the League of Towns and Cities 6-8 weeks ago and talk about affordable housing and talk about what cities could do to help with that. And my one and only example was Globe, the city of Globe. And it was because of how the staff here helps, how the council is so willing to work with people. And I don't have to butter you up anymore because you've already passed zoning. This is the honest truth. We haven't experienced it like this to this degree anywhere else. And so thank you. Thank you very, very much for that, because it's allowing us to really move forward on a project that has some challenges to it. But the great news, as I said, is we're moving along exactly where we expect it to be. So just a quick reminder, this is a 64-unit project, and 26 units will be in the old Hill Street School, and 38 will be in the new construction that'll be connected with that elevator core. I know it's really kind of hard to see the picture there. Apologize, it's so small. What you have in front of you here is the site plan that was submitted to staff last week. So to begin that permitting process, if you will. It probably looks pretty familiar to what you saw before when we had the boards up and so forth. There's a little bit more detail in there now, though, and that's part of what this time takes, is working through all those details. So a quick update on a couple things. First on the permitting process, then on the financing, and then just the timelines to give you a sense of where things are. So as I said, the site plan was submitted, and so we are looking for feedback from staff on that. I think we're going to get it this week, actually, and then it goes back then, I think, to the Planning Commission for final approval in the next few weeks. And so that is moving along nicely. As we've been working on that, we've also been working on construction drawings. And so we're already at 50% construction drawings for the building. And basically you're obviously getting to 100% construction drawings, and then you submit that for building permits. So we're moving along nicely with that. You may have seen some activity on the site here and there over the last few months. I think last Monday, our boring crews were out there digging holes where the new construction will be to make sure that, so we have a sense of the soils underneath and know how the structural engineer can build accordingly then. We've had people in and out of the building looking at different aspects of it. We'll have some folks in there probably late next week or early the following week. We want to make sure that that running track is well preserved, and so we have to check out the structure underneath it. And so these are all just sort of little steps that you got to take along the way. But it's what we're looking to do is submit then our construction drawings probably in mid-January. And so that would be the 100% construction drawings, and then they go through the review process multiple times. But we just keep chugging along. And so we're really excited. This is moving along nicely. You know, we're always looking for your feedback and staff's feedback. If you see anything on the drawings or you have suggestions as we're going along. From a financing perspective, we were awarded last June, or whatever, this past June for our tax credits. So that's all in place. Financing is in really good shape. We're moving along with that. And then the last thing just to talk about is the timeline. And just a reminder, the timeline is that we're going to close on the financing in the end of May coming up, so about 6 months from now. And we're on track with that with the whole building permit and so forth. You have to have a building permit in place, before you can close on your financing. And then we'll begin construction right away in June. So you will see when that time comes, it'll obviously have a lot more activity on the site. But we're very excited about it, looking forward to it, and I think we're gonna have a great project for y'all in this town. Just to let you know, your little sales tax bump gets you a little bit more on construction sales tax. So I think it'll probably generate a little over $200,000 for the city on construction sales tax. So a nice sort of thank you for obviously all the work that you all do to keep this town moving. So we're excited to be able to contribute too in that way. So I don't know if folks have any questions or anything.
Do we have any questions for Dan?
I do.
Go ahead, Mike.
So you're looking at construction beginning in May of 23?
We will close at the end of May, and construction will begin probably that first week or two of June. So we jump right in after financial close.
And it will take till
probably take about 17 to 18 months. 17 to 18. Yeah, thank you. I meant to say that. So it'll be takes a little bit of time, but we'll get there.
Have you received any concerns from the local residents or businesses around or anything? Because I don't think we've had any come in that I know.
We have not. We haven't received any concerns. And again, thank you actually for in your last council meeting for approving the abandonment. I don't if you remember the lot line went through the middle of the building, so it's a little tough to close on a building with a lot line in the middle of it. Yeah. So thank you for approving that. But no, we have not received any concerns. There were a few questions when we had to go out and do some surveying in the community, and so the surveyors were out, and I think there were some concerns because they had to actually go into adjacent lots in order to I don't know what the exact term is, but to basically take the shot from the pin and so forth. So I think that probably raised a few eyebrows. What are you doing? What are you doing? But that was just all about defining the lot lines. So, but besides that, we have not heard anything. So,
looking forward to seeing that project completed.
Thank you. We're excited too.
It'd be great.
Please feel free to reach out anytime if you have any.
And thank you for bringing this project to our community. I know I've had several inquiries about it. People interested in already wanting to go there, even though they have their own residence in this area. They would like to, move on from living alone in their own home and moving on to a residence like this. So there has been some, a lot of inquiries about it. So we thank your team for being here. We thank our staff too, our economic development, our development team services, and they're building even stronger and adding more to it. And that's gonna be important as we bring new projects to our community. Thank you, Dan.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, Dan, I've seen some information from League of Cities. The legislature is looking to do some tightening up of, building requirements because of the timelines and what they perceive as other cities that do take a while. And I would hope that maybe at some point we can, connect you up with the league and use us as an example of how it can be done right. I think it's, it shows that given the current laws that we do have, we can still move a project. A city can move a project when things are going well and everybody's in agreement. But I may give you a jingle on that. Okay, thank you.
The fact that you all have a common plan for this town and it sort of goes through your whole staff, that sets the full tone for people who are coming in from the outside to say, hey, this is a place I want to be and I can get things done here. And so that's what we keep seeing again and again. And it makes a difference. As an outsider, if you will, it helps. And I'm going to talk about that to others as well. So I'd be happy to do that.
Well, and Mr. Mayor, members of council, and to Dan, we also have a council that for the past 4 years has been telling staff, do not hold up development, do not get in the way, do not put up hurdles, do it right, but make sure that we're working with. And so I commend council because it's as much as your achievement as ours for sending that tone. And that's the message we both can send to the legislature.
Much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next, we have the introduction of Best Begawan Museum staff members, Aubrey Silverberg, Lee Clerk, Terry Norsworthy, Clerk, and Maya Green, Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, we're gonna table the, ballot.
Are we? Okay. So we'll go on to introduction of Economic and Community Development new staff members. We have Connie Calloway, Grants Manager, Tony Manfredi, Deputy Building Official. Linda?
Oh, and we have one more.
Oh, yeah.
A surprise guest.
Oh,
We also have Mary Helen Sanchez.
I wasn't on there, sorry.
Sorry about that.
I saw you there.
So good evening, Mayor and Council. We are so excited to share with you the good news of our staff growing in the direction that our economic development and community development department is going. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our 3 new dynamic team members. The expectations of our department begins with delivering a higher quality project and service, and of course events like First Friday. We need a workforce equipped with the most up-to-date skill sets in place to facilitate the forward movement of the diverse development taking place, such as Hill Street School. So first off, we have our new development services technician. Mary Helen is handling the permitting process for both residential and commercial, and soon will be taking on business licenses. Mary Helen retired here from the Valley a few years ago, and she came here to write a book. 4 months later, she was bored and had to find work. So I believe that first job was at Best Western, and that's when I met her. And Mary Helen was coming to our RCAC facilitations, and she participated in many of the sessions. And she just was really encouraged and excited to see what was going on within the city of Globe. And then she actually moved on to the town of Miami, and that's where we were very lucky to bring her from. Mary Helen brings a substantial amount and years of experience of municipal knowledge and corporate leadership with her to our team. And so we welcome Mary Helen. And we'll bring them all up here together so we can get a group selfie. And so next, in order to take advantage of the incredible federal funding that's coming down the pipeline in the next 5 years, we have added our grants manager, Connie Calloway, to assist all departments in becoming competitive for these opportunities. Connie is almost a native to our community. She actually graduated from that other school down the road. We forgive her. And right on. She has 15 years of experience with grant management and with successful grant writing sprinkled in. Connie is very excited and ready to go the extra mile to get the job done. And tonight we have joining her lovely family, her daughter Bella, son RJ, and her son-in-law Ryan. So it came from the valley.
Very cool.
Yeah, definitely. And finally, in order to facilitate future expansion and manage a changing municipal landscape, our team has brought on our deputy building official, Tony Manfredi, a retired firefighter of 30 years from the city of Phoenix. He was also a terrorist liaison for the Department of Homeland Security, and he moved here to retire about 3 years ago to make this community his home. Tony brings his years of experience and deep knowledge of the necessity of modern building codes and best practices for the future of this community. And we're excited to see where Tony takes our department and to advance us in that way. So thank you for tonight, and we're happy to bring our staff up. So can we get a picture in front of council? Great, this is,
And if they want to say anything.
oh yeah, from Mary Howard. Your turn. Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, I don't need a mic, but I will step up. Thank you, Mayor, council members, Paul, and citizens, and the little music in the background. Thank you. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a bit long-winded, but I'm going to keep it short. I'm originally from Houston, spent most of my time in Phoenix, and I did decide to move to Globe to retire, to write a book. I'm still writing that book, and I will finish it before I retire again. I just am excited about being here, about Globe. I think 2020 was just incredibly devastating, and I think all of us felt that we were circling the drain, and we survived it. The best is yet to come. I have a great boss, my colleagues, make it possible for me to say what I need to say, and I think collectively we're going to make just a phenomenal impact, positive impact in our beautiful city. We are moving forward. We have moved forward, and we're going to continue. And Mayor, and when you gave your speech to our city the other evening, you said we still have a lot to accomplish. We have moved forward. We are no longer at the bottom of that mountain. We have climbed up a little bit, and we're going to continue. And I think collectively the reason we can is because of all of you, the people I work with, are self-disciplined, the discipline that we can dream this, talk about it, but if we don't have the discipline, we're not going to get there. And I think we are going to get there, and we're going to do it with style, with a lot of dedication, and we're going to make this work. And we're no longer circling that drain. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Helen did share that when she retires again, she may consider running for public office. And now we can see it. And so next we have Connie Calloway.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I've had a lot of honors in my life. One of my first honors was the privilege of having a son and daughter in this community and having them graduate from GHS. And then we added the son-in-law. He came from Round Mountain. We'll discuss that later. Okay, so, and then I had the honor of being able to work a grant for a very long time at Globe School District. I had an honor of having four individual cohorts, but also laying a footprint on other students and helping students graduate from high school and make a life after high school plan and get them there. And that was a real honor because you have no idea until you see them after they've graduated and they've gotten a job or they're in the community and you see them and you know that you helped with that. And then they say things to you like, oh, Ms. Calloway, I wouldn't have gotten here without you. And I feel like they give me way too much credit, but if you're there in that time when you can make an impact upon them, then, you know, it's very well worth it. And it's an honor to be able to do that for each individual family and each individual student. So my other honors today being here amongst just being able to join the selfless team that I have experienced since I've gotten here. And I kind of experienced them from afar, being with Globe High School and, you know, having people come in and talk to our students and everything. But being able to work with these dedicated, self-tasked people to bring the citizens of Globe a very vivid future. And also just that I'm going to be able to be part of something that is much larger than myself. And I feel like I decided a long time ago to go to school and get us and have a skill set and achieve it. And now I'm going to be able to bring that here and just be able to grow this community with all of you and all of the people and the citizens around us. And we just don't know. The sky's the limit. How far do we want to take this? And I always say before an event, you can make it as small as you want, or you can make it as big as you want. You know, when you plan it, nobody really knows what you were planning, but the success of it. So this community has no limits. It has no boundaries. And I feel like we can really move a whole globe world just by all of us participating. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity of employment of work, you know, here at Globe. Thank you.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we have Tony.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Good to be here. And first and foremost, I just want to tell Linda, don't dare point that camera at me while I'm doing this. So we're good, right? So Linda gave an introduction of me, a little bit of a snapshot of who I am, where I came from. So I just want to touch base on that a little bit. I lived in Arizona most of my adulthood. Before that, I was a city boy in New York and came to Arizona in the late 70s, big culture shock. And from there, I went into public service, spent my time, 30 years, doing public service, something I really enjoy and miss. And really, if my life would allow, I would do it over and over and over again. That's the type of job, and I know there's people in this room that can relate to that. Even dealing with the good parts of the job and the tragedy parts of the job that tattoo themselves on their brain. Even with that said, there's something about it that you just want to take over and over again. So with that being said, after I retired, I came here to Globe to retire. And I've been coming, a lot of people ask, why Globe? What made you choose Globe? And almost felt like Globe chose me, to be realistic about it. And I've been coming up here for a lot of years. The gem that we live in, the county that we live in, the city that we live in, you know, it's that complacency that people get when they have something. And then an outsider comes in and brings a little fresher breath air, I guess. You think and you look at the big picture and what it has to offer. That's why I chose Globe. I have friends here, I own property here, and I knew I wanted to be a part of that. Now, moving a little forward, I was given an opportunity, and it's interesting, you have people come up here and they talk about the city and its leadership, and the mayor, the council, the city manager, the directors, the public safety leaders, really important aspects of what the city is and the progressiveness shown behind it. And I had the great honor to be courted by that and to be part of it. And I really do see that as an honor. Because me, I mean, look at me, I'm nothing special. But they saw something special in me, and I'm honored by that. So, with that being said, one of the commonalities that I found talking to people and getting to know people in Globe was I hear a lot, and I don't know if we can all share this, but I hear a lot that people left Globe and at some point in their life returned back home to Globe. And I hear that over and over. I don't think I'm the only one that's heard this, but I hear it over and over again. So my vision for this city is really about opportunity. And to me, it sounds a little hokey, but building is opportunity for us. And I'll keep it short and not long-winded, because I'm kind of known for that. But, yeah, you laugh. But
Don't get closer to the mic, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. To keep it, not to be long-winded, but like I said, a lot of people leave and come back later in their adulthood with that building opportunity and the vision I bring. I want that to disappear. I really want it to be, if you want to leave, you leave, but not have to leave, if that makes sense. And with building, it's opportunity. Housing, we know what's going on in the country all over the place. We know the struggles that people are faced with these days, economic, social. I want to be able to be a fix on that. I want to be part of the fix. And my end is the building end. And I foresee building as just that. We bring people to this city of ours. We bring professionals, we bring doctors, lawyers, public servants, education, stores, retail, restaurants. We get to bring all that here. And what does it do for us? It provides opportunity. It makes people, I could stay here and go to school. I could stay here and get into a career and have a lifelong career and do something for my community. It alleviates that portion where they have to feel like they disappear into the night and go to another state, maybe another country, another city, and do those things. And then they feel like, I want to get back to where my heart was, and that's here in Globe. And that's what I found that most people do. So that's my vision. That's where I stand. I thank you for the opportunity to do that. I really do. And that's all I have to say. All right.
You gotta get a picture. Tony. Yeah, dude. It's like our exhibition. Selfies, we did it with Molly.
Oh, I'm so sure. That's okay. We don't have to have it. Oh my God.
Take a bigger camera.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So next we have the consent calendar. Matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted with one motion and one vote. Public hearing items are designated with an asterisk. Prior to consideration of the consent agenda, the mayor will ask whether any member of the public wishes to remove a public hearing item for separate consideration. Members of the council and or staff may remove any item for separate consideration. Item A, consideration of waiver of section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule to allow action on the balance of the consent agenda. Accounts payable, $601,792.57. Consideration of approval of council minutes, October 11, 2022, meeting minutes. Consideration of agreements and purchases of less than $25,000. Consideration to approve the facility use permit to allow Eastern Arizona College to utilize the City of Globe Active Adult Center for classroom use for art and physical condition courses August 22nd, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. Consideration to approve the facility use permit to allow Eastern Arizona College to utilize the City of Globe Fire Station for classroom use for the fire science and EMT courses January 17, 2023 through June 30th, 2023. Consideration to approve a donation of $5,000 to the Gila County Sheriff's Posse for the patrol services in the City of Globe's First Friday events. Do we have anybody from the public, staff, or council that wishes to remove any of these items separately?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, for those comments or questions, I motion that we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda as read. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Any abstaining? Motion passed. New business. Gila County Historic Society update presentation and request to approve bed tax distribution for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2021-2022 in the amount of $9,316.81 and first quarter of fiscal year 2022 through 2023 in the amount of $11,227.71 for a total distribution in the amount of $20,544.52 from account number 10-51-51925 General Fund Community Organizations, Gila County Historic Society.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, as we had spoken, we had talked about putting these on regular agenda and then asking a representative from the organization to come and give a brief update. We had lined up a member of the Historical Society to be here, but unfortunately he was not able to appear. And so the concept was that we would approve these with the update. My recommendation, but it's council's pleasure on this, to table this to the next meeting so we can arrange to have that representation and council feedback. So it'd be a request to table. There, yes, but again, this is in that transition, so I don't think that it is there. I would say that it is a part of the transition and would not put the blame squarely on them. I believe it's just a communication and or transition with our finance department. So I think they have been doing everything right.
And I think, and Fernando has a good point. He's the liaison with the Historic Society. If it's
Well, and-
something that
and
we
it-
can approve and then have them come at a later date, I'd hate to hold up any funding if it is, if it's
Absolutely,
needed.
Mayor, members of council, if you'd like to approve this now and we can do that with a stipulation asking a member to come in the near future. We have 2 meetings left before the end of the year to give that 5-minute update.
So then I would move, Mayor, to go ahead and approve their fourth quarter and first quarter funding in a total of $20,544.52.
I'll second that.
And since it's a new business, are we waiving the rules
Oh.
on this? We'd have to waive.
Yeah, let's go ahead because normally we approve these on consent when they're and we do them in one shot. So
So I would-
on these, since they're coming they're coming so often, I think waive the rules.
So I would amend my motion to include waiving of the prior discussion rule. Second.
We have motion and second for approval of item 5A. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Any abstaining? Motion passed. Item B, discussion and consideration to approve resolution number 1867, adjusting available compensation of the City of Globe mayor and council members to begin January of 2025. And we have resolution number 1867. You want to read that, Shelley, please?
Resolution number 1867, a resolution by the City of Globe City Council adjusting the available compensation of the mayor and council of the City of Globe based on section 2-1-5 of the City of Globe City Code, effective upon the seating of the 2025 2026 mayor and council. Is council please accept?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, council serves as pretty much a volunteer service to the community, to put your time, effort, to appear, to read the packets, to be involved. But traditionally, there's been a nominal compensation in order for at least partially to cover the some of the costs and your trouble for doing this. In looking back at council right now, you are 20 years out from having a pay raise at all. So if you look at the inflation numbers, it's about half. You're making about half what councils 20 years ago were bringing in. Now, there's also a state law that says a current council cannot raise their own salary, and you can understand why that might be. We are about to seat a new council on the 13th of December, but that would only allow those newly seated people to have a pay raise. And I think out of fairness, what we're asking is to put this off until the seating of the council of the 2024 election cycle, which would happen in December of 2024. The first full paycheck would be January of 2025, and so that's when this would take place. Now, we've also worded this that it is your option to take that, so that takes care of the financial burden. I believe that the way that things are looking in 2 years, we should be okay with this. The numbers we're going from for the compensation annually for council will be going from $3,600 a year to $6,000 a year, and then for the mayor would be going from 6,000. Let me check my numbers. Right now to 10,800 a year. Okay, and I put some paperwork in here. This is in line with many councils of this size. They vary somewhat, but again, by the time this kicks in, you'll be 22 years at the current rate, and so I think it would qualify as a inflation rate adjustment and get you back to where other councils were. I think it's an equity issue. And then it takes care of making sure that everybody gets the pay raise at the same time. And like say, it will not require a future vote. But again, if something's going on and council doesn't think it's appropriate or the money, you have that option of declining this. You can always defer your pay if any individual feels that need. But if we need to pass this now before the seating of the new council in order to hit the calendar dates, so this will all apply legally. Mr. Mayor, members of council, any questions about this?
Do you have any questions for Paul?
I just have something to point out. See, so there's 4 new people that would qualify for pay, and that's more than half. No, I'm just kidding. Got to be able to count to 4, right?
No, I'm not gonna say anything.
No, I think it's a fair process.
Yeah.
I agree with the process, and you know, we may be here, we may not, but we're providing for whoever comes in 24.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And I think that's a good thing to do at this point.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, you know, we had talked about this before. I kind of took the liberty to put this on the agenda so we could get us under the deadline, and I kind of surprised you with this, but I think you're a very humble group. I don't think that, you know, this is something that was driven by you. I will tell you, I believe it's driven by the fairness and equity that we're trying to maintain across the board with compensation and retention. So hopefully we can retain all of you.
Go ahead, Freddie.
Thank you. You know, in all fairness, I just taking the whole pay out of the picture, I think it's fair to say to the general public that, you know, for the most part, our council members, we don't just show up on every other Tuesday for a meeting. You know, all of us are involved in other committees, and throughout our daily lives, and even on the weekends, council members and mayor are always out there, giving what they can when they can, giving their time and effort to help move the city forward. And it's not just every other Tuesday meeting. And I think that really needs to be said because it's under the radar. Nobody really sees the amount of effort that council members and mayor put out there. So, again, it has nothing to do with the pay, just the level of commitment is what I'm talking about. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Freddie. And Mr. Mayor, members of the council, just going shopping for all of you could take hours, or a phone or a phone call from and working with constituent services and you all. And I will tell you, I would put this council up against any council that I know. You read your packets and you're informed and you ask questions. And that benefits staff to get things done, and it benefits the city that you're on top of things. It's a lot of work. So thank you.
You bet. And I think it's important that we think of the future of future mayors, future council members, that, it's not about the money. It truly isn't. I mean, you're not going to get rich doing it, because we do it anyway. I mean, it's about our community. It's what we're doing. But I think it's important that we do set some kind of pay standard for future people or future residents that want to run for office and maybe make a little bit. I'm fortunate. There's a couple of us that are retired on this council, and we're fortunate that we have the time to put the time. I really admire these council members that are still working a full-time job and doing what they do. Because like Freddie said, it's not just a meeting every other Tuesday. It is numerous meetings and hours and that they spend a lot of time on. I really don't know how really every individual does it, because there is a lot of work to it. There is. So I appreciate this resolution for the future council members.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, this will be, we will not waive the rule on this. We're going to, the request is a motion to bring this forward to the next meeting. And so if there is any feedback or anyone, they will have time to respond. But thank you.
We have a motion to move this one forward.
Motion made.
Second. Motion of second to move item 5B forward. All those in favor, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any opposing? Motion passed. Item C, discussion and consideration to designate 4 additional holiday vacation days from December 27th, 2022 through December 30th, 2022 for city staff, and to authorize the allocation of 4 additional accrued holiday vacation days to all public safety employees assigned to shifts.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this would be the 3rd year that we're asking council to pass this benefit. It's been a very helpful benefit. What it does is it leaves a little bit of a break between the transition from the holidays to the new year, gives people to clear their head and get refreshed and come back in January ready to go. Time with families, it really has been a benefit that everybody has appreciated, and I think we've all heard that. Shift workers still have to work, but again, it's a little bit lighter because there's not that much going on, at least administrative wise. And so I'm gonna, if I mess up the dates, but the Christmas and New Year's fall on a Sunday, and so we give them the Monday after that is our regular holiday, and so then from the 27th to the 30th will be 4 days that would be considered a holiday, and that is how we handle that. The like say for those who are on shift work, allocation of 4 additional accrued holiday vacation days to all public safety employees assigned to shift. And then we designate that all non-exempt employees required to work between 6 p.m. And 12 a.m. December 24th and 25th of 2022, and December 31st, January 1st, receive that time and a half pay through this window. And so for those who are working those actual holidays, the Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, that they get compensated well for those times, because they're pulling away from the family, and that way those people who it works out for can take those shifts and be compensated for the time away. It's the same thing we've done past 2 years in a row. So, but I do want to, it has been built into the budget because it's actual subtraction, but wanted to give it to council, make sure that you were okay, and again, your chance to make that difference for staff.
Fernando?
I just know that we can't always keep up with paying like some of these big cities do, and I think this is a small way that we can say thank you to the employees that dedicate their time and commitment to our community. And I know some have to come to work in the middle of the night because that's what they do, and so we just want to say we appreciate it, and I think this is a great way to do that.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to say that, you know, ever since I came on the council, I think the first year I was on was when we did this, took this action, and being an old union dog and working the holidays and stuff when I was out there in the workforce, this is a really, really a good thing for our employees. So I think it's, we shouldn't even hesitate to move forward on this.
Yeah, I agree too. Also, yeah, I think it just shows our appreciation to all of our employees. And it gives them that time off with their family. Like you say, they can regroup and get ready for the next year. This is a great benefit to them, and we hope they understand it.
Mayor, if there are no other questions or comments, a motion to approve is read.
Or move it forward.
I'll move it forward.
I'll second it.
It's your prerogative. There's no rush. It's because,
We'll approve it, waive the rules.
yeah, okay.
I seconded it already.
Okay, we have motion and second. Was that, move forward or, approval?
Move with waive the
Okay,
rules.
we have motion and second for approval of item 5C. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Any abstaining? Motion passed. Action item 6A, consideration possible approval of change order number 3 to contract number CS-2021-0031 to Superior Tank Solutions for Hagen Tank Coating Project in the amount of $144,900 to be funded out of account number 50-805-2200 Water Capital Outlay Construction. Jerry.
Mayor, members of council, thanks for the days off. Appreciate it from the whole staff. So, cancel that, leave slip now. But, you know, once again, I'm just pointing out, I got the very last item.
You're the cleanup batter.
I'm the cleanup hitter. That's what I am.
And asking for money.
Yeah. So this one's a pretty simple one. At the last council meeting, we talked about the two change orders on the tanks. So the one being for the additional work and the other being a negative that we got back because of a different method. This is actually painting the exteriors of the tanks. They are solid tanks, but we want them to be going forward with pristine on the outside as they are on the inside. So we have about $175,000 left in contingency. We wish to use $144,900 of it to paint the outside of the tanks, and Vince just texted me. It's desert tan or desert sand to match, so all the tanks will match up there. So they wouldn't let me pick out the color for some reason. So, yeah.
It also preserves the tank, so
Yeah.
it's not just a.
Well, a lot of what's on the tanks now is the corrosion that came from when we had leaks and so forth. And so we've knocked those corrosions off, but the marking's still there. So if you look at it, it looks like they're still leaking, but they aren't. So this will clean it all up, and it'll look like brand new tanks when we get done with them. So.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, so Jerry, this is not your typical paint, though. This is.
No, it's an epoxy paint that we use on the exterior of the tanks. It's you have to have two coatings, and it's a sealant, just like the inside of the tank.
Jerry,
So-
do they sandblast the outside or
They clean it up, and they sandblast more in the areas that we have issues with. And so because the coating on the tank right now is just like coating number or tank number 2. Remember how we didn't have to blast as much off because it was powder coated. Well, the outside is powder coated too. And so we'll clean it up where we need to, and we'll go back in and cover that, and then we'll put a primer coat on it because we are going from green to desert sand. Put a primer coat on it, then the final coloring will clean those tanks up there and you know, make a beautiful skyline for the city. Any other questions?
Mayor, I would move to approve.
Oh, I was just gonna make a comment, because I have some working knowledge on this, it's not just making it pretty, it does preserve the metal.
Yeah.
So I think it should be noted that it's not just the paint job, and it's pretty, it does preserve. And so, with that, I'll entertain anybody's motion.
I would move to approve the $144,900 to paint the tanks.
Motion and second for approval of item 6A. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Any opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you, and you guys clean up well.
Appreciate it.
Any late agenda items?
Mr. Mayor, no, we do not.
We have our second call to the public. Do we have anybody online or?
Let me look and see.
No, nothing. Okay. Nobody in the public audience?
Appears not.
Scheduling of meetings?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, we've been doing well with managing the agenda. I think the council work groups has done a real good job. We do not anticipate a reason for a December 27th meeting. We do not anticipate a reason that we would have to reschedule that. And so while I know that this council is excellent about if we need something, you will come together. But we would like to ask that we permission to cancel the December 27th meeting. And do we have to bring that back with an action though? Or do we? We'll have to check. Yeah, but no, I do not believe we'll have a reason to do that. And yeah. So I don't think so. And besides, all the staff will be off.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
You get a holiday too.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Future agenda items? Anybody have any?
Nothing right now, Mr. Mayor.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion passed, meeting adjourned. Thank you for attending, and thank you, Citizens Academy participants.